This is White Coat Black Sheep, where science gets curious and dogma gets uncomfortable. I'm Dr. Civelli, and we talk physiology, evidence, and real world medicine, plus the questions you're not supposed to ask but probably should. If you care about health and think there's a better way, welcome to our show. Hey, Justin, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm sorry I forced you to just be on this side of the camera. I know it's not the usual preference.
Nope, it's not usual, but yes, I will do it for you.
It was really funny. I watched the control need to control kind of kick in. He tried to run away.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
this is not my comfort zone at
Yeah.
all. At all.
But you know my personality profile. I mean, I am the one that breaks the stagnation or like a resistant. Like I'm going to push it in that other
hmm
direction.
You did force me to take a test to see
I
if we were
did.
compatible, even though we've been friends for a long time. You
Yeah.
did make me take a test to see if we were, and we have worked together. So I thought it was a
Yeah.
little weird that I was demanded. I was,
Demanded.
yeah,
Yeah.
demanded to take a test, and that test took me a good 45 minutes while I was watching Titanic with my son. And my wife was like,
I'm
"What are you
going to pull
doing?
it up.
Yeah, what are you doing?"
I love
I am
it.
taking I am taking a test. I am taking a personality test
I'm
for
proud of
Valerie,
you.
and I did it. And those
Did
are
you learn anything about yourself?
yeah, I think so, but I do also feel like those tests are a little like I could go either kind of which way, and I always feel like I try to find a certain moment where I did go one way or the other, but there's
Hmm.
moments where I feel both ways.
So
So
you felt like there was maybe a fork in the road that you skewed your results where you would otherwise land in a different personality box.
I felt like a lot of my answers were going towards one direction, and I just felt like I had to kind of mix it up because there were times where, based off the question, I was like, no, I did sometimes feel like that. So in a lot of those questions, and then I didn't realize the slider it basically had steps.
Uh huh.
Basically some steps. So I was like, oh crap. I went back and I started after about five questions. I was like, oh, you can actually tap a section on that. So it kind of leads.
Yes.
So the sliding scale. So um
So you came out as number one being, oh, that's mine actually. I'm going to pull your results up. And I'm proud of you for doing it.
thank you.
Okay, so number one was empathizer. Number two was coach. And number three, which is super fun to know about you, is catalyst because that's me. You also break stagnation. You also push people into action where they would otherwise just kind of like, well, I'm thinking about this and I'm going to do that. You push them into the doing. That's a skill. And that also, this really helps with learning how to better communicate with people that you already work with.
Yeah. So the top one was empathy.
Empathizer.
Empathizer. I feel like that one's an obvious one because I feel like I not self-loathing. I do feel like I have empathy for other people more than myself. Usually, yeah, I'm that person that we got to hurry up and go. We got to go because we're making somebody wait, or and it's been a crux. It's been an issue with with us. Like,
So, me knowing that to be true about you means that I would better know how to identify that and then recognize when you're doing that to, like, I don't know. It's almost like, I mean, I have a very similar thing to you, but it'd be like not in your best interest every time.
yeah, definitely a detriment. It's sometimes it's I put others before myself, and then realize I have to
It
have some.
costs you.
Yeah, it does cost me.
Yeah. So that brings us here. Let's see. Mine, okay, so yours, empathizer, coach, catalyst. And then mine was, let's see, what was the name of the website? This is High Five. That's where we did it,
Which was it was a good website. Yeah.
right? So mine is strategist, catalyst, believer. So yeah. Anyway, fun to know.
hmm
So we were just kind of going back over the last conversation because and I'll let you share this part about the
hmm
questions that
hmm
you've received since you're a dad, you have kids, you have teens, well, really all different ages.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you're speaking of the my 15-year-old son brought up the B. What is the correct term for the peptide?
Oh,
BC.
BPC 157
Yeah, so I picked
body
him.
protection complex.
Is it okay? So I picked him up from wrestling, and he basically hits me with the dad. Do you know what that is? And I right when he said it, I well, I believed it was a peptide.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I believe I do. Why? He's like, a kid from wrestling once says that he can get it for me because of my knees. He has been injured in his knees, and as dad, I my knee jerk reaction was like, no, absolutely not. That's not
Yeah.
going to happen. And then I did,
Because
just because I not knowing, I just didn't know, and I
so
just felt,
unfamiliar with the
yes.
product and he's a kid.
He's 15 and
Yeah.
thinking like, if are you injured or are you hurt? If you're
Yeah.
injured, there's a problem. If you're hurt, I feel like I was born in the 80s. I feel like you kind of put some dirt on it and walk it off. But yeah, he has injured his knees. His knees are a problem,
Okay.
because he is doing wrestling now. So he's never done wrestling. So I felt like, well, maybe you just don't, because you're 15 and you're jumping into it and you don't know how to actually wrestle correctly.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving a bunch of excuses on why you don't need to add that.
Yeah.
And then I basically told him, I was like, well, actually, I do take some peptides, and I believe I don't even,
Oh, you told him in that moment?
yeah, I said, and we never really talked about that.
Wow.
We never talked about it. And then he said, are those things that are in the fridge? I said, yes, they are. And I basically, my excuse was, I'm 2.5 times older than you and I'm dad.
That's what you told him?
Yes. That's what I told him. I was like, I'm old, I'm paying, and I've, spoken to a doctor about it. And then, after our conversation, I feel like maybe I was a little abrupt and, should have maybe thought about it a little bit more. And now after having more conversations, I feel like, it is something to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely like knowing how to talk about it. And like I was telling you off camera, I get these questions from parents a a little bit for education, but also out of fear. And then some of them in the category of make my kid a superhuman. So there's definitely a space in between to navigate it. I don't have kids, but definitely for safety profile, these are non FDA, which what does that mean? There's a lot to say about it, except that FDA is the language that doctors are trained to speak and treat within. There's certain definitions and guidelines that we're supposed to abide by. But so within like the realm of off label is as we call it. So it's sort of going rogue, but it's also in the supplement category. Um, this is something that is relatively safe. Now, the reason that you take it, there's different reasons. It's supposed to have really good healing quality. So if you have an acute injury, it it doesn't really so much matter like where's the injury. Like your gut would benefit from it. There's nasal spray options, there's oral options, there's injectable options. You can inject intramuscular for that. You can also just do into the joint. I do that. If somebody has, like, say they sprained their knee playing soccer, is that what
Wrestling. Wrestling.
wrestling? Well, for you, I think
Oh,
you're
for
playing
me, oh
something.
yeah, yes, and I'm telling him to suck it up, and I'm trying to do anything to fix my calf. I was
Yeah,
doing parents versus kids soccer,
that's what it was. Yeah,
and I believe the first time I did it about a month ago, I tore the bottom part of my calf, like below my calf, and
hmm
spoke to a friend of ours that we know and a PA and said, "Hey, I hurt myself." He said, "Can you point your toe?" And I said, "Yes, I can." The issue is when I lift my toe up. He said, "Okay, well, better than my understanding is it's I hurt something, but I hurt the better of the two."
yeah.
Kind of
He's checking you for Achilles rupture.
yes. I thought, holy shit, I broke my Achilles. I went and I was like, oh, is my Achilles still there? I've never hurt my Achilles. And I was like,
Yeah,
crap, it was cold. It was
yeah,
all that. The next time, which happened, 4 days ago, the wife said, you make sure you stretch. And
yeah.
I stretched and did the whole routine and went twice as long playing soccer. But I am 43 years old trying to run around with these little 12-year-olds and did it again. I felt it. I was like, holy crap, was it my right calf? I don't remember, but I feel
Yeah,
like it was the right calf because I do have some little soreness in the back of my calf. I still have it from a month ago.
yeah.
I did the same damn injury to both legs,
Oh, I hate that for
doing
you.
the same thing. So do I need peptide? Do I stick stuff in
I
there?
would, without even like hesitation, give you the peptides. I would do the BPC 157 Wolverine stack. I wouldn't even think twice.
Really?
The difference really with kids, I mean, you just don't want to do anything to interfere with their development. If you think about how much you change from like day 0 to 2 years old, you see a rapid change. Or like when you shift into your hormones and you become a teenager, your voice deepens if you're a male. Like there's rapid change that happens. And so anything that you're giving would theoretically intercept those
Natural. Yeah.
processes. So what are we doing? Not sure.
Mhm.
Um, you know, the way I really like I said, just check more data.
Mhm.
So you could just check labs more often. Like how are the kidneys doing? Are they impacted? Like you could do that. The body's pretty able to heal itself. I believe, sometimes it needs a little bit of replacement of something, whether it's BPC, which is a healing compound, or rest or whatever. Like it
Mhm.
need a little bit goes a long way, especially when you're at that age.
Yeah. And I am taking testosterone. I don't know if public knowledge, but I'm not just built like this naturally. But
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay,
just, you
okay.
might think he's a stud.
Your teenager is what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Like, oh, he's got a teen body. No, but the testosterone obviously based off of the doctor who educated, knowing that I could take the Wolverine stack, and I
Totally fine together.
yeah. So yeah, that feels well. And then the kid situation is just, if it's, I think the natural progression of, be as, was a teen, and knowing that there's still a lot for lot, yeah,
Developmental
more development. I
things
didn't want to hinder
to
that.
interfere with.
I didn't want anything to be an issue, do it today and then there's an issue in 10 years. I didn't want to be
Yeah.
a part of that. But knowing that's
Yeah.
okay, it's, not everything to an excess, correct?
Right. And theoretically, peptides are short acting, they're
Mhm.
short term. How much harm could you do in a long term platform? So, if you're comparing hormone replacement, which hormones cross into a cell, they control the DNA. Like if you're playing a video game, I don't know, how do you play like this?
I don't even,
I had like I don't know, I was imagining
like,
like joysticks or
yeah,
something.
or a Wii, this or
Right. So if you have a substance that has access to the DNA, that's more permanent, that's more indefinite, that's more concerning and dangerous theoretically, and more likely to like intercept in a very long term way some process of development. But if you're thinking peptides, they don't go into the DNA, they
mm,
don't modify at that level.
yeah.
Hormones like testosterone or estrogen or growth hormone, which I mean, I take all of those, but but those are supposed to be cycled. So if I don't want to, as an adult, if I don't want to shut down my body's ability to make those things, then
Mhm.
in my case, I cycle. So you can really get away with hormones, things that can access the DNA of a cell, say 6 weeks, 8 weeks at a time before you should break. Or sometimes I'll do like a 5 days, Monday through Friday, and then off Saturday, Sunday. So that still that drop in the substance signals the body to step up and
Mhm.
make.
So, yeah, so you just don't do it for a long time. You just give it a little jolt and then take it away,
Take
and
it away.
let the body
Yes.
kind of ramp
So
back
the
up.
cells stay alive. They keep the signal. The sensors are still there. The production system is still there because essentially it's like a factory. And so if you don't keep up the maintenance, you don't keep the cells going, the mitochondria, which produce your energy, they'll shut down production.
Yeah.
They'll go to sleep. It's called autophagy.
Okay.
The clearance of those sleeping ones is autophagy. But if they're just sleeping, they're senescent. So senescent sleeping cells are useless. They're just taking up real estate.
Mhm.
There is no point, and that's like a guy standing in the way of a hallway. Like move, dude. You
Yeah.
walk
Yeah.
through. So that's kind of a good way to think about it. And then if you're like, okay, well, I'm taking all these supplements and I don't care if I have to make it myself. So, all right, great. So then those mitochondria kind of they go to sleep. Now you want to clear them. You want to push this guy out of the way. So that's where things like exercise is super important. That is good for turning, like moving debris and turning over cells, especially if they're useless and not working or needed. Um, the sauna,
Mhm.
just like
Red light.
yeah, red
Yeah.
light,
Mhm.
exposure to extreme heat or cold plunges. And then you also get the feel good
Yeah.
experience with those, but the dopamine.
But is our peptides, guy talk, when somebody talks about peptides, you hear that. I don't go to the gym like I should, but when people start to know, oh well, Justin does this, or even testosterone, my understanding as somebody who's not a doctor was the bro talk was your testosterone's going lower and lower the older we get. Is that correct? The
There's a natural drop after
drop.
the age of 35, like
Yes.
significant, like
Yeah.
a water slide.
Yeah. So my
That's what it is.
understanding with the people who I talked about, you didn't give me my first dose of testosterone, but was your body's basically quote unquote dying. It's going down.
Mhm.
And, as a 15-year-old, it's going up.
Yeah.
I'm going down and I'm trying to just keep it at that level.
That's a great thing that you just said.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, because if you can imagine, like, if I were to give a 15-year-old testosterone, then the signal to keep making more, it would cap it.
Mhm.
So what he has is what he has. His development is what he is. And you know what would really so the main thing after you stop growing, like say you reach like 15, 17, your growth plate fuses.
Mhm.
The frontal lobe, where your decision making is, where your higher executive functioning exists, that is dulled. You're kind of
Oh,
like, I, I think about that and I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
Seems super important.
Yeah. Yeah, and for this kid in question, I'm not gonna do that because he needs that lobe. Because yeah, he definitely needs that. Can I spitball a couple like like frequently asked questions or bro talk about
Yeah.
testosterone?
Yeah.
If I take testosterone, my body stops producing testosterone. Is that based off of how much I take, or am I
It greatly reduces the amount that you make.
okay? And is that a if I'm not making any, I think when I got tested, what is the scale? I guess what is the scale for testosterone? I know the women's scale is lower, correct? Like high
Yeah.
testosterone, normal testosterone. Where is that supposed to be?
Yeah, so I for men by reference range, normal medicine, boring lab, uh norms would be like 600 to 900.
And that's normal.
That's
Normal.
normal. Doesn't mean that people feel good
Hmm.
at that range or that it's like perfect for customized care.
Yeah.
But if you're seeing a regular doctor and this is what your results come back as, then they'll say, "Oh, you're good." And then there's probably no more conversation from there. So whether you feel good or you don't feel good, that's what it is.
Normal.
Yeah,
What is your magic number? Or I know I assume you can't box it all there, but is
that's a good
if you
question.
saw a 900, are you still thinking, hey, it could probably be better, or how do you feel? Because the number, like you're saying, my number could have been 850, but I feel like shit.
The number one thing that I always try to lead with is I'm treating the person, not the paper.
Mm,
So the labs are insightful, they're helpful, but they don't really give me the full decision. The full decision comes from the person. How
conversations.
do you feel?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have mental clarity? Do you feel like your libido is good? Do you feel like you're working out? Are you lifting heavier? I lift heavier with testosterone.
How do you feel when somebody comes in like a person who doesn't like there is those people that lift and work out and eat well, and then there's us the others who are busy dads, can't do, maybe it might be golf is is my new thing, and I'm trying to make that my healthy activity. But
Yeah.
when somebody comes in there, then they say, "Hey, I want testosterone." You look at them, and you obviously can tell that they're not at the gym regularly. It's just not in the cards for everybody. Not everybody's going to be at the gym. Do you put them in a different box and try to help them get to a point?
I'm a little aggressive. Okay, I'll tell you.
Do you tell them you got to get in the gym, or you're not going to get any of this? Or
It depends on the person.
okay,
So I'm not going to go into you as the specimen at this moment, but I do have another client.
okay, we're not talking about me. I'm asking for a friend.
So, uh, sometimes it means I do send people from my team out to that person, whether they're not getting their shots because they're like, oh, I forgot. Like, so inconsistent testosterone use is a problem.
Oh yeah.
You have like other issues that come up with like estrogen, rebound.
Mhm.
But if it's failure to load your muscles, then it'll just be a very annoying, like I won't go away. Like we have to like load your muscles. So sometimes sending a trainer to somebody is my next move. And it doesn't take long. It does not. I mean, just say you did like 10, 15 minutes.
That's
Something,
it?
if you did that, it is tremendously more beneficial. even like your lifespan is going to be more.
Mm.
So it's worth your time. So if you're like, "Oh, if I the act of going to the gym," I mean, there's pre-gym anxiety, there's, like, procrastination that happens, like, there's just so many things, but even just the thought of you about to work out and then say you did work out for 15 minutes, you just did, like, low reps. So you did, 6 to 8 curls, and, you did that 3 times, and you did maybe some air squats. I mean, it does not take much.
It can be calisthenics though, right? It doesn't be
Absolutely.
body weight. You
Yes.
can literally do it at home.
Literally do it at
Yeah.
home. Don't make it a big deal, but you've got to do it. And so that I can't do it. I'm busy, all these things. I'm like, here's what I hear. Wah, 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 wah.
We're not talking about me, right?
No, your
No, no.
friend.
Yeah, for my friend. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, but there's lots of people
Friends.
like your
Yeah,
friend.
yeah, lots of
Yeah.
friends.
And so I really it's part of I guess what I do to navigate that and like as I hear in conversation things that keep kind of coming back up and I'm like okay so this is the barrier. I try to identify the barriers. So if you're saying well I'm just busy da, 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 and your schedule's erratic,
Yeah. Hmm.
your friend's schedule's
Yeah,
erratic,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So in that scenario, so what space could I find that's consistent for you? I mean, just walking down the hallway.
It feels like you're not gonna find, you're gonna find a place where there's not a no. You're
I'm not
not,
gonna let you fail.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna find,
Yes.
lay out your schedule. Let me hear all the stuff you have to do,
Yes.
and let's find a time where you can take 10 minutes to do some body lunges.
Exactly. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah,
That's nothing. I've wasted way more time
yeah.
doing
And
nothing.
I feel like as far as I've known you, and I've never been, I'm not this person, but I assume that you're taking that. You want this person to genuinely feel better, and you know that a
Absolutely.
magic peptide or a pill, there's not a magic pill.
Nothing.
Yeah, so, like, the peptides will help and the
They will help.
testosterone will help. All these things will help, but you need to put a little effort in.
Yeah.
You gotta, what you put in, you get back.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah. Because I mean, honestly, your success is my success. If you fail, then like we failed.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "What? Okay, we're gonna get an A plus.
Yeah.
And even if we make like a B, that's better than the F you're trying to give yourself. So just yeah, identifying those barriers and people aren't you're not gonna get where you're trying to go or really make any traction just with one thing, one supplement, one injection, one product. It's going to be probably with a team, surrounding yourself with the right recipe for success and giving your body the right tools for success. One thing is not it.
Yeah. Well, you definitely can't do 20 bad habits in a day or in
Right.
a week, in a month, and fix it with one little thing. You have
Right.
to kill some of those things off. I think it's
Yeah.
impossible to do. It's insanity. You can't do the same thing and expect a different result. So you have to change a little bit, and maybe not for some of my friend, the weak-minded friends. Cut out. Maybe cut out eating late or eating
Yeah.
before. A bad thing that a habit that I have is eating late. I love to
Yeah.
eat late, and now I know that that is bad for me. My sleep has been bad for years, from back and neck problems, but just why is my sleep so bad? Oh, well, I ate at 9
Mhm.
and I'm going to bed at 9:30, 9:45, and my body is correct
Mhm.
processing that food. So when I'm supposed to be sleeping, it's digesting food. Is that right? Or is that a myth? Or am I,
There's a lot to that,
is that a
and
whole different topic?
I think it is worthwhile to give it energy in a whole space, but the short version is it depends on the person. The major conversation is really asking what happens after I eat, and if I go to sleep, what happens when I go to sleep, and can these two things coexist together? So for some people, it might be helpful for them to sleep because you get insulin that goes up. It's called splanchnic dilation. You get your blood vessels that dilate. They give more blood to the stomach and digestion, rest and digest. Some people, like a bowl of cereal or eating late, makes them go to sleep. And it's that splanchnic dilation and the insulin that makes them feel sleepy.
Oh, for sure. I feel sleepy, but
Yeah.
I eat some food, I eat a sandwich, I feel sleepy, but is that helping my sleep? Is the sleep better
It's not
because of that?
ideal. Well, okay, so your sleep might be good. Okay, so say it helps in the sleep performance category, like you feel like that helps me go to sleep and stay asleep. But in the space of longevity and efficiency and performance and your next day. So it takes away from that. Yeah, just like I mean, I think of it there was a really good podcast I listened to by this he's a neuroscientist scientists, but essentially you're always kind of balancing like, okay, I have this long, this many years that I'm genetically predisposed to live. And my lifestyle counts for, you know, the range of like say 5 to 20 years that you could add on or take away.
Mhm.
Because you can live hard, die young. You can, live slower, live longer.
Mhm.
But you're always kind of thinking like against that. Insulin that is spiked and that remains higher, you live shorter. A lower insulin, you live longer. Lower glucose, you live longer. You sleep more deeply, you live longer. If you clear out your cells more and have a healthier mitochondria with more autophagy, you live longer.
Mm. I think sleep's a whole different topic because there's a lot like
Totally
the the
is.
the the getting up and going pee as a 40-year-old and like
Prostate. Is that your
prostate.
friend?
Yeah, my friend says he wakes up and goes to the bathroom a lot. So
Okay.
I know that's not regular, and
Yeah.
then some people like let's just say it's me. Let's just say like I wake up, I drink a big glass of water to go to bed because I feel like oh that's when I really take my water in is right before I go to bed.
Why?
I don't know because I don't drink water during the day. Like my business partner literally has to brings me water while we're on set because I don't drink
That
water.
used to be me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just don't. I'm like I don't need water, and then like yes, I know that's bad. I understand that's bad, and my daughter bought me a nice little awala
Yeah.
that I can carry. I carry around, but
Sounds cute.
it
Like a
is
koala? What is it?
it's an awala. It's like the
I'm gonna
drink.
look that up
Yeah,
right now.
it's like everybody has them. Like they're
I
like the
don't
get
have an awala.
yeah, awalas, and they're great because you can it's a straw, but also you can drink out of like a normal.
Like a sippy cup?
Yeah, it's basically like an adult sippy cup, but it also you can drink out of it this way. But then if you
Oh,
don't
it
want
comes up as a baby something. Okay, I must be
a
listening.
walla,
How do you spell it?
oh
A
shit, I
A
think if you
W?
just look, yeah, I think there's a
Oh,
W, yeah,
oh, Walla.
a walla,
O W.
yeah. But she bought me one of those, and I've had it for 2 years, and I usually will have it
Oh,
with me.
that's
But
nice.
I think carrying it with you isn't as good as drinking out of it. Like
You
just
know
carrying around
what?
with me.
So, my partner has an Awala, and I didn't know that that's what an
Hmm.
Awala was or that
Hmm.
it's a thing. The colors are great on
The
it.
colors are great. Yeah,
It
you could.
doesn't fit into any cup holder. He drops it
Well,
constantly.
they do make if you like shop on Amazon or they do make like adapters for that, which is a big old pain in the ass, but an adapter for that. But
Gosh.
any water canteen doesn't fit in anything normal. Like
Yeah.
something your wall is not going to fit in something that can fit into.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
the water intake, but yes, drinking water before bed because I just feel like I want to. It's right by the bed, and I drink it and I wake up 3 times, and then
Do you
but
have your phone on you?
no,
Oh. What time do you wake up?
I wake up at I wake up multiple times a night, but when I wake up, it's 5:30.
Okay.
But I wake up constantly. Wake up,
Yeah.
the pillow between the legs. If we're talking about sleep, the pillow between the
Oh,
legs because
because like back.
the back, and then here. Wake
Yeah.
up, touch my phone. Crap, I go to bed at 9 to
Mhm.
10, 11 ish.
Mhm.
Sometimes I know that I have other questions, but try to go to bed at the same time,
Mhm.
like a routine. And
Yeah.
I read that. I was like, ooh, that makes sense. Go to
Yeah.
bed at the same time all the time if you can.
Yeah.
Go to bed, call it 10 o'clock.
That's better for your circadian
The
rhythm.
rhythm. So
Yeah.
go to bed at 10.
Yeah.
I wake up. I feel like I feel like I've been asleep for hours. I
Mhm.
roll over, touch my phone. It's 2 hours.
That's where you okay, so
Yeah, but yeah, but it's like, what
yeah,
time is it? Because is it right before I have to wake up or what?
yeah,
What effing time is it? So I go and click,
yeah,
and then I'm back and forth, and I'm grabbing my pillow. That's a long pillow that's right on the side of the bed. Put it in between the legs,
yeah.
roll over, toss and turn. And maybe possibly go to the bathroom. The bathroom trips have been less than,
Mhm,
but they definitely are still there.
mhm,
And it's just one of those things where I think I can hold it, but I have 2 more hours of sleep, and I'd rather
mhm.
just get this out of me and then try to relax.
It's such a habit to grab the phone and check. It is such a habit, and
Oh,
it's
for sure.
such a bad
Oh
one.
yeah.
I mean, every time that happens, I would think think of that as toxic.
Hmm.
It literally is toxic because you ruin your melatonin surge. And then it just in every loop of that circadian pattern is just like you've just murdered it.
Yeah, and start all. You have to start again.
Yeah. So, I mean, to think of it in that extreme is like it seems crazy, but now that we're here and like there's such a problem, I have trouble too, just like resting, chilling,
Hmm.
sitting,
Being bored,
being
just
I
be
don't
bored.
even know what
Bored
is
is.
this. Yeah. So I mean, just the touching of the phone, looking at the time, and then, say you just stopped doing that part and you just like slept through the whole night. Well, what would that look like? Well, drinking water in the morning. So what would that look like?
Mhm.
Because you can't think about it. Well, just wake up, and that's the first thing that you do. So set an alarm on your phone, like you have your wake up alarm, then
Yeah.
you have your water alarm.
How
It's
how is your sleep? How do you Oh, okay, well, last thing before, because I'd like to
yeah,
hear your opinion. Dreaming. I used to dream a lot as a child and
yeah,
20s, like vivid dreams.
mhm,
Not a lot of weird dreams, but dreams. And my
yeah,
son will wake up and he's like, "Dad, I had this dream." I'm like, "Mother, I haven't dreamt ever." And the only time I actually remember dreaming
yeah,
is waking up, checking my phone, and going back to bed for 45 minutes, and then boom, I remember my dream. I feel like that's when I remember my dream.
yeah,
I will remember a dream maybe 2 or 3 times a year now. And I feel like I don't even dream anymore. I don't feel like I get to that point where my body even starts to dream.
yeah,
And then I'm waking up constantly. I'm waking up 2 to 5 times a night,
yeah.
going to the bathroom maybe once or twice and not dreaming. I like, what is your sleep like? I know how my wife sleeps. She sleeps like a damn rock. How do you sleep?
Yeah. I don't well, okay, so
You don't sleep
several
at all.
No,
Right.
I do. No, sleep, I sleep 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours. I am a tyrant on myself now about sleep, and if I break my own rules with myself of going to bed, say it's 9:30 and I'm not in bed, I hate myself, and I'm like, "I failed," and so that is like my new protected space because that's your longevity, that's when you
Your
that's your
body
brain
fixes.
health.
I feel like your body fixes yourself. That's where
Yes.
like all that happens.
Yeah.
Do you put your phone away? That I've read you
Yes.
put your phone away an hour before, 45 at
Yeah.
length before you go to bed. Not here. I'm on the phone. I dropped it on my head. Oh crap! Now I have to go to bed. I put it down and go straight to bed.
Yeah, no, my phone is down. I don't look at it past 9 usually, maybe 9:30 if I'm really, like, slacking on my own rule.
Mhm.
But, you know, to answer that question, I have had to look at this ring
Wow.
to better answer for myself because
What is that called?
this is a ring con,
Okay.
RANGCON.
Kind of like the whoop strap, but
I
it's a
like the
ring.
Whoop. I
Yeah.
think the Whoop is more like stylish, but this is good. If I'm working out, I don't like how it feels with weights in my hands, but yeah, I think I would have said subjectively that I sleep great prior to me getting like a tyrant on myself. But I feel great and I sleep well. It's not a problem. It's something else is
Yeah.
wrong, right? So, but then after I got this and I actually looked at the real data of my sleep, it was atrocities. I was like, I had, I don't know, maybe 6 to 7 hours or often even 4 to 5 hours of light sleep. That's like that's a sham, that's a joke. I was just like, "That is not no one's healing, no one's
Yeah.
getting brain health in that."
Yeah. And you
That's
want to get to REM? Is that or
you
is there?
want ideally 4 hours, first 4 hours are gonna be your deep restorative sleep, and you wouldn't dream in that. And then the second 4 hours is really where you REM. And if you're depleted on sleep, or if you're depleted in really like your prior REMs, you didn't have enough REM sleep, or you didn't have enough deep restorative, then you won't make it all the way to the REM sleep. This is a space where you really see dreams and you have like longer like pulses of REM and then they shorten the next cycle is a little shorter, the next one's a little shorter, and this is a shorter. And this is the one that usually like wake up from. And it's really weird because in sleep your body is really like releasing these chemicals that paralyze you and then they unparalyze you. Paralyze you, unparalyze you. And some people with a disorder, they get paralyzed and they wake up
And they can't move.
and they can't move. That's a hypnagogic state. It looks awful. I don't have it, but that would suck. But
Mhm.
anyway, so I was not having that, proper sleep. I was just all in like the light sleep zone. That's garbage.
Yeah.
It's like a little cat nap.
Mhm.
My cat? No. So I had to really like work on it. And certain things like melatonin can make you dream more.
Mhm.
They don't do that for everybody, but I would say it probably does that for me.
Yeah. I did Ambien a long time ago, and
Did you like it?
I was asleep for
Yeah.
the whole night. I didn't feel rested. I felt
Yeah.
like it just put me to bed
Yeah.
and just kept me there, and then I woke up. The issue for me is waking up tired.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Like,
Hangover.
nope. What?
Or really probably just like you didn't have the deep restorative. You probably okay, not
Not
probably.
not drinking.
Yeah.
I'm talking going to bed
Yeah.
tired, exhausted, waking up, and
Yeah.
still feeling tired,
So
not
you
feeling
stayed
rested.
you stayed essentially in the light sleep zone, the one that I was in.
I feel like that's where I live.
It's awful.
I don't feel like I'm in REM.
Yeah.
Is that like is that a common thing for people nowadays, or is it just based off of just
I think
specific?
it's easier to achieve light sleep if we're saying like what is more challenging, what do people struggle with the most? They're going to struggle more with the deep restorative sleep to like
Mhm.
drop in because like if you close your eyes, like that's like alpha sleep. And if you drop into your first layer of sleep, beta sleep, you want delta sleep. That's like it's a different wavelength. If neurology has got like little stickers on your head,
Yeah.
delta, you can track it. It's deep sleep. The waves of your brain are different. Your mitochondria respond different. Your energy shifts differently.
Is it all so are you a deep sleeper or like do you cat nap? Do you wake
I
up at
never nap.
no, well like when you sleep, one little crick at the door and you
Oh
wake
yeah. Could something like pull me out of deep sleep? I if I'm like in my usual like
yeah,
proper like
proper normal.
yeah, then if it's like probably like early in the morning, then I might hear it, but otherwise I would probably like be more in the deep sleep.
Yeah, I'm weird. I feel like a weird case because I don't feel rested, but I am a deep sleeper. And I'm that person, like I know there's some people that take a while to kind of get into sleep. I'm a put my head down. Like my wife is like, brush your teeth, Beb. Let's, wait up for me. I literally close my eyes. I'm out. I am
That's
out.
such a life skill.
Oh yeah, I can sleep anywhere if I had
Yeah.
to. But I also like I've been notoriously bad at falling asleep at parties, like full blown house parties, and I'm just done. I'm tired.
I
I
used to do that.
yeah, I'm tired. I literally there was a house party
It's
that I'm thinking about. We were at a party. There was 40 people there. I think it was like New Year's Eve, and I literally went to the living room, laid on the couch. I slept all the way through it, and people came up, took photos of me. I was out. I would not wake up for that. But when it's time to actually sleep and get really good sleep, I just can't. My
yeah.
kids are yelling, screaming. Did you hear the bang? I don't wake up. I do not wake up. I'm probably not a good, home invasion. We're screwed. But I don't feel
Yeah.
like I get that rest. So
Yeah.
I get to sleep fast. I sleep deep. I feel like it's a deep sleep, but I don't feel like it's restorative like you're saying.
Yeah. So if a patient like you came in, I would just have to get more data. So
Yeah.
I would say,
Sleep
okay,
study? Do you do a sleep study? Do you
so
send them?
you can,
Do you
but
like sleep studies
I
as a
I do.
doctor?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and we actually do them at phase 1. So I don't know if
Really?
you saw the rooms with the
I
beds.
saw the beds.
We have all the
I
equipment.
asked her about that and because I had some we can talk
Yeah,
offline because yeah, I want somebody to poke and prod and figure out what real because I feel like I can tell you how I feel or like the things that I'm doing, but I could
right.
be even just not making that up and not giving you exactly the right info. But
Yeah,
I
that's
would
in the subjective category.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
it could be subjective. So
yeah,
yeah, I didn't know they did that at phase. And what is
yep,
phase one?
yep. It's clinical trials. So we
Okay.
do pharmaceutical clinical trials. We have different durations and different pharmas that we work with.
Hmm.
The the premise basically kind of changes slightly based on which company we're working with. They could run anywhere from 5 weeks to 20 weeks. It just depends which one. And
So you're testing meds and seeing how they actually work.
sometimes it's medication,
Okay.
sometimes it's just monitoring, looking at everybody's waves or their oxygen,
Okay.
snoring, just sometimes they're behavioral studies. It just depends.
So we could talk about snoring all
There's
day.
so,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Well, snoring is a major part of poor sleep.
And
So
sleep apnea
sleep
and all.
apnea. So it's very relevant to when the conversation of how am I sleeping? Why don't I feel great? So just everything that you told me now, that I would look at your, I would ask to see your data from your, I'd be like, okay, I hear you subjectively. This is how
Mhm.
you feel. And this is what your behaviors are. But when you come back in 1 week, let me see your watch data or
Mhm.
your whatever your device is.
Yeah.
So we'd look at that.
Would before you go on, the ring, the watch, the band,
Hmm.
I do have an app, I don't use it much anymore, but I do have an app where you lay by you, and it's not connected to you, but
Hmm.
it can hear me grinding my teeth, it can hear me
You're a teeth
snoring.
grinder.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to it, we can unpack all that later, but is there one that it to me as a non-doctor or non-clinician, it would be nice to be able to say, "Here, take the ring, take the Whoop. I'm gonna send it home with you. I want you
Yeah,
to track yourself for 30 days and come back to me."
yeah.
I'm sure that is not as good as sending them to phase 1 and they do the sleep study, which is, is
I
that one?
think it's for different purposes. So I think, you can still get really good data just from a device. And in fact, I have affiliate links. I mean,
Okay.
I like the Rincon, I like the Whoop, I have.
so you can make money when I buy this?
I would
Okay.
make yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes I get discounts, right, for people that I send, but
but you
usually
believe in it though.
I believe in it.
Yeah.
I
If
obviously
you're
use
using
it.
it, yeah, if you're using, yeah.
It changed my life. So the fact that I'm a doctor and I'm in this field and I was the one telling my doctor I sleep great and then I was just like grossed out with the results of light sleep.
Yeah.
Like I'm a hypocrite. So no, I felt like a total hypocrite. But anyway, I changed it. And in my case, I don't have structural issues of my breathing airway so that I don't snore. Okay.
I'm,
I've asked I don't snore.
I'm gonna ask Chris. I
Yes.
have some videos like
But but I did evaluate, myself for that. And even like with your device, like my ring, it'll show my oxygen levels. So if I have moments where I'm not breathing, that'd be sleep apnea. And so really less than 88% for a period of time, that's a problem. You're losing brain cells. Your sleep quality is terrible. And uh, obesity is a major side effect of that, high blood pressure. Really, you can trace back a lot of comorbidities to that. So, diabetes, metabolic issues, PCOS, infertility. There's so much. So, really, like, I would say that'd be square one. Like, optimize your sleep. Are you sleeping?
yeah.
How do you know? Check your data.
I think the next time we do this, I think because I think we're gonna glaze over a lot of topics, and not much.
Yeah.
I think most people want, at least in my circles, the sleep. I think really talking about sleep, but then the
Yeah.
snoring. There's so many different, and then the devices,
Yeah.
the tapes, the apnea machines, the
Yeah.
devices that you kind of get sucked into, the
Yeah.
straps, which I've done them. I've done them all as a
Oh.
self-diagnosed. I've done it. I've done them. I've done the tape. I've done the thing.
Yeah.
So those are nice. And then like I think a lot with where we're at in society and in the world now, stress.
Yeah.
Stress is. I feel like stress
Oh,
kills.
huge.
And
Yeah.
cortisol
You're a
is some.
business
Yeah,
owner.
kids. Father. So I feel like
Yeah.
cortisol is a thing that I've been kind of looking into,
I
which I don't know
check
enough.
that.
Yeah, I don't know enough to talk about it, but
Yeah.
I feel like I have a lot of that. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a topic for future.
I think the shortest version, just since you said cortisol, I mean, cortisol is good. I feel like so far the conversation has been how bad it is.
Mhm.
We need it. I
What
mean,
is it?
so
Tell me.
cortisol is a hormone. It's
Oh,
considered a stress hormone, but really, if you think about it, it's like it should be high in the morning and low, like a kind of an S, and then low at night when you go to
mhm.
bed. When you rise up from sleep, you have like a energy boost, and then it tells your body to wake up, and that makes you feel alert. And
It's
and
not like adrenaline, or is it like adrenaline?
it
Or?
it does act on adrenaline. So, and it's just one of those things like you don't want high levels of that when you're sleeping.
Yeah,
If you had a sustained cortisol, then you would be looking into like burning out your adrenals. Like then you're always like stimulating the energy, like fight or flight signal, and then you get more fat oxidation. And fat oxidation really just means like you're sending like all of these energy particles to just trash randomly your mitochondria.
yeah.
So it's not good. It's good until it's bad. So if you have all of these like signals to fight or flight and to go and to like just push through this moment, um, you're not gonna just like rest
But
and sleep.
what is if somebody has high cortisol, is it high body fat? Because I feel like the cortisol belly, like it's like I don't have a beer belly, but I definitely
Yeah.
not as fit as I
Sorry,
was.
funny nose.
I'm definitely not as fit as I was back then. But it's like, oh, my stomach's not soft. I've like it's just hard. But then I'm like, oh, it's not hard because it's a six pack. It
Yeah.
might be like a lot of cortisol. Is that
So there's a lot of mixing of things there, but so if you think of everything as a signal, cortisol is a signal.
Mhm.
It's a hormone signal, and it does direct fat to certain parts of the body. So if you see somebody who has a chronic state of high cortisol, you will see fat directed to the belly and to this little hump. You ever
Oh yeah,
saw like a
I've
little
seen
buffalo
that.
hump?
Yeah,
So they have sustained high levels of cortisol. So that means it breaks down fat here and sends it
sends
here
it
and here.
there.
It makes it central obesity.
I know some people that are like that. And is that you have it, or can that be can you it be passed down, or is it like my family has like high blood pressure? Is that, or is it just is it case by case, person by person?
I would say most times it's really lifestyle.
Okay.
And in general, you can think of it too like this, like there's 90-10. So 10% is your genetics, 90% is epigenetics.
Okay.
So outside of what your family gives you.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for cortisol, like if you have a spike in your cortisol, like and you can get that just from like sprinting, like that
Mhm.
gives you a spike. But if you have that, I mean that tells your immune system to boost up. So you do temporarily boost your immune system. So it does help you. But if you don't if you just sustain in that region, then you burn out,
Yeah.
right? Then it's like now you're in a chronic inflammatory state. You no longer have the helper cells that were now helping because they've died.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
now you just have chronic inflammation.
Yeah.
So it's like the aftermath of sustained cortisol that is problematic, and it also intercepts with all of your normal circuits. So like your circadian pattern. Histamine can be also a trigger for cortisol.
Mhm.
So it becomes bad very quickly when it's not spiking at the right time and stopping at the right time.
I can't remember who told somebody within the last like month or 6 weeks basically told me that they do not like stress. They don't talk about anything stressful or important after 5 o'clock in the afternoon or
I agree with
six.
that. I do
It's
that.
like, hey, we're not going to talk about life changes. We're like, we'll talk
No
about that.
decisions.
Yeah, no decisions are life threatening
Yeah.
because like this is not the right time. I'm either
Yeah.
tired and I could not for the life remember who told me this, but I was like, that makes a
Maybe
lot of
me.
sense. It might have been you. Shit, it could have been you.
Maybe
It
me.
makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm not going to do anything like at this time because it will jeopardize, maybe I'm tired. I had a long day and I
Yeah.
might not make a really sound decision.
Yeah.
But then also, like, I got to go to bed in 4 hours and
Yep.
we're gonna have a stressful conversation about life and kids and marriages and blah and blah and blah. And then all of a sudden, then I have to go to bed, and then that's gonna screw up my sleep, which
Yeah.
my sleep is already screwed.
Yeah.
But I've kind of defaulted to like, let's talk about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tomorrow.
No, totally. I think timing is everything. So
Can you
no,
tell my wife? Can you tell my wife to not
I will. I
bring?
know her. She's
Yeah,
my friend. I'll tell
tell
her.
her do not bring up anything important after 5 o'clock.
You didn't tell her yet?
I
I
tried.
would like
I tried.
because I tell that I genuinely like that's one of my rules for like behavioral modifications. So don't look at your phone even if like I get it. I'm a doctor. I know maybe this is like the most important text or call. It might be,
Mhm.
but they need to call 911.
Yeah, yeah,
Really.
because you have to worry about yourself too.
I can't
Yeah.
just yeah,
You can't
I'm
tell
gonna
other people.
drop
You can't
dead
tell
too
others.
early.
Yeah, you can't tell me to do it
Yes.
and then not do. You have to do it also.
I have to
Yeah.
practice what I preach. And I'm really working to be diligent with that because I want to walk the walk, talk the talk, and teach people that they can do it. You can be an entrepreneur, you can have all these other categories that you perform in, but you can't sustain your performance in these categories and keep, borrowing energy over here.
Mhm.
Like the Red Bulls are gonna stop working.
Mm.
Like the classic, oh, I could have coffee at midnight. That doesn't do anything to me. You know how many times I hear that? I'm like, you know what? You have a problem.
Yeah, I'm definitely that person. I always say that I don't need the energy drink.
Yeah.
I just like the taste. And
Well, that was me too.
yeah, I do like the taste though.
I love the
Oh
taste
my
too. Yeah. But now I don't touch them. I see that as
gosh.
poison. I look at it as
I like the
poison.
poison. It's so good. The
Mhm.
fruity, it's so fruity and good. And coffee. I love coffee, but I feel like it's habitual now. I just do
Yeah.
it just for, and I don't feel like it gives me a pick me up. I had a cup today, but I think
Mhm.
it's just a routine. It's that thing that I do. It reminds me
Yeah.
of my dad, the smell of the coffee. I do it with my wife. We drink a cup of coffee, maybe two,
Yeah.
but then it's on to, I don't, I've been getting better about the Red Bulls and the drinks. I don't do Red Bulls, but
Yeah.
I just love the taste. And I just like, if I can find something that I can do, it just, I don't know. It's habit. It's habit forming, and it's gross that I know I shouldn't be doing it. And then
No,
I
it's
tell
not
my,
gross. No. Okay, caffeine is not gross. Caffeine
oh
is
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Coffee is not gross. But what's interesting is I did a gut health test. I used Viome, and I feel like of all of them so far, that one's my favorite. It kind of makes it very clear, like eat this, never eat this, eat a lot of
yeah.
this.
Like
And so
rules.
yeah, so coffee was on my list of never, and I was like,
Yeah. Mm.
oh my god, that's so rude. I mean, in my case, I actually don't mind now learning that because I use a substitute. I don't know where you put those bags. Yeah, I use that's like mushrooms ground
Oh,
up.
okay, yeah.
So not the weird ones, but like coffee.
Mm.
So that's my coffee substitute.
Is
It
that
has
what's in that?
yes, ashwagandha, lion's mane, and then the creamer is collagen powder, protein. So altogether, it's like 10 grams of protein and no sugar.
That's a little funky.
I think it's
Maybe because it's cold now. Maybe because
yeah.
yeah, but
You know, it's
I
funny.
don't know. I don't want to
I'm
say what it
used
smells like, but
it's better than all of the other options. Most of them do taste like dirt. But for me, this was a good substitute. You can try it. It's like a cold coffee.
it tastes like watered down coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. It smells worse than it tastes.
Okay, yeah.
It's got a little pee-pee smell to it. It's gotta smell it. It's gotta smell if you be subjective and just smell it, it's got a little urine smell to it. And is that the creamer that you're putting in it, or is it the mushrooms? It's got a
So
little
I
pee-pee.
I don't touch creamer. This
Oh,
is a
there's no cream?
collagen powder
Maybe
with
it's collagen. I don't know. It smells a
probiotic
we're not gonna talk about the brand, but it smells a little
and
pee-pee.
BCAAs.
So that could be it. But maybe it's 'cause it's cold and I don't know. But
That's hilarious.
yeah. Well, okay, well, God, we're going over so many topics.
Yeah,
Um,
we can
uh,
always like sort them out and in
yeah,
future episodes. But
the coffee's great. I know coffee black is the way you're supposed to take it. I can't do
yeah,
that. My
but
daughter
sometimes that's harmful too.
is
If
it?
it's too acidic, or if you have reflux, or if you have like a gastritis, or you
Mhm.
take too much ibuprofen, like it can be bad too.
What about the synthetic creamers, the fat like I do the
Hate
sugar
them.
I
Poison.
sugar-free French vanilla, the big jug that's this big.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's poison, and I feel like you're feeding your microbiome, like, little the bad ones that are
I
still alive.
substitute with kimchi, though. I eat kimchi after, though.
Kimchi is good for some, but not all, and I used to really think it was good for all.
What would you replace? Because so, yes, the wife and I do the sugar-free because we feel like it's better.
It's
The sh
not.
so should we just do the standard stuff if you have to pick?
Standard.
Standard, not sugar-free?
Yeah.
I love Diet Coke. If you say I can't have my Diet Coke, you're gonna get punched.
I would later remove that from you so I don't get punched, and maybe you just are it's a better time.
Ugh, yeah, the sugar-free thing is weird because you feel better about it, but you drink more of it, and I know the aspartame, and I know that those things aren't great for us.
It's really not even that. It's more just feeding the bad bacteria that exist in your stomach. You cannot have sugar-free Diet Coke or anything sugar-free and still feel like not bloated. You will have bloat, period. Bloats. So this does not have a sugar-free component to it. I just wanted to add this is just not sweet.
Is there
So
calories in that? Is there, like, normal calories or
low
low
calories.
cal?
Yeah. But really, like, you're adjusting your cravings. You're adjusting your sugar tolerance or intolerance, that thing that, like, makes you feel a little bit of dopamine, like, "Oh, this is a reward. It tastes good," like carb craving. You adjust that sensor so that if you have something that, say, is the same level of sweetness that you have now, you'll think it's gross later. You have to, like, go through, like, a detox
Yeah.
process, essentially. But it's okay. You're always choosing your poison. So there's, like, a little
Yeah,
bit
life
of
is short,
it is.
YOLO,
You can make it longer.
but who wants to be 85? I would rather have a really good 65 than, like, the last 15. My grandpa, I don't know if I ever told you that my grandpa lived to 101. He was 101
Then
and
you better clean it up, because that's gonna be a long stretch between what was this age?
65?
65 and
Yeah,
100.
yeah.
Like, that's gonna suck right here. This
Yeah,
this is the space I'm talking about.
Grandpa Bob did do really well with, like, riding his bike and exercising. He actually got hit by a car on his bike at, like, 85 and still rode his bike. Got his license taken away, like, in his 90s because he kept hitting shit, but, he was he was a Marine, he was in the Navy. He was, like, a solid guy. And my dad's still around. He's kicking. He's, in his 60s and doing well, but was a smoker forever, so we'll see
Uh,
how that goes.
yeah.
But yeah, I think, having some, remnants of, a nice life.
Okay, so let me add to that. We're adding vitality.
So
That's the whole point of me, I feel like.
mhm.
Vitality, because I'm working with all these old people who they live past that age of, as you said, I just want to live a good life at 65. Okay, well, after that, what's your plan?
Yeah,
So that's where
there's a
I'm kind
lot
of targeting is that you're the future you, so that your last 1 to 3 decades are comfortable and you feel good and
for sure.
you can have your bike accident because you're riding a bike,
For
because other
sure.
grandpas can't even ride their bike.
Yep,
So
but,
that's what I want it to look like.
that camera's gonna die, so I
Oh,
think we should
okay.
wrap well, because that was only supposed to be meant for, like, an hour,
Oh,
so yeah.
wow. Well, it was a great chat, and we have a lot more to touch on. So thank you for being a sport and sitting in the chair,
Thanks for
and
having me.
more to come.
Awesome, thanks.
All right.